I mean, this is a worthless screw. The world wants to become like this. It wants to become worthless, useless, weak, and have no purpose in life. Most people even want that for you. I mean, if you examine the circle of people you have around you, most people do not want you to become a successful, full potential person. They hope that you're this because it helps them feel better. Welcome back to the Uncharted Podcast with Yarrow, where we talk about stories and share stories that will help you get inspired and hopefully help you grow. Today's episode will be about, I guess I titled it, How Screwed Up Are Ya? And it has to do with this visual right here. I'm going to hold these two screws and hopefully the camera will focus on it. Maybe it won't because my eyes are there, so I'll close them. I'll show you these screws a little bit up close, but there's a screw that's worthless. It doesn't have a thread, doesn't have a point, and then there's obviously a regular screw. I've had these screws in my possession for quite some time and just sitting in their closet. I mean, this is a worthless screw. The world wants it to become like this. It wants to become worthless, useless, and have no, weak and have no purpose in life. That's what the world wants for you. Most people even want that for you. I mean, if you examine the circle of people you have around you, most people do not want you to become a successful, full potential person. They hope that you're this because it helps them feel better about themselves and less competition. So, first things first, this podcast is not a self-help podcast. What you learn here is not something that you can just apply in your life and be transformed. There's more to that than just taking a concept, liking it, thinking it can help you, and then apply it. Your heart has to change. Your mindset has to change. And most importantly, the way you look at life has to change. So how does a person become this useless screw or screw up and loses its potential that it was actually designed for? You've been designed to be useful in all areas of your life, but yet we become this many times. So what causes this? The answer is kind of simple. I mean, it's not a new teaching or something. You choose to follow the world instead of God's will. Okay. Now you might not like to hear that. You might say, Yarrow, you're talking about God, and maybe you're not a person of faith. Maybe you don't believe in God, but the reality is the truth is the only thing that can set you free from the captivity that you have been in. So if you've been addicted to something, if you can't quit a habit, if you are having a hard time in your life, the only thing that will set you free is the truth, and the truth is found in the Word. That's it. Not some kind of universal power, not some kind of magical phrase, not some kind of quote that's on the wall on your poster, not some kind of self-help book, not a God of the universe. Like it's the only thing, the God, the one true God, the one that designed you, the one that created you, the one that created you to have an impact in this life and not to be worthless. Okay, I'm going to stop picking these up and whatnot. It's just kind of cool. I hope you can, you can find one of these because that's pretty rare. That doesn't really happen very often. But let's talk about things that can make you become this unscrewed screw, if that makes sense. Let's start with your circle of influence, okay? So your friends. This applies to any age and anyone watching this, regardless if you are a guy or a girl watching this. This will apply to you, your friends, and your social circle, okay? So your friends will either make you better or make you worse. And a lot of those friends that make you worse, they're the ones that aren't talking truth into your life. They're the ones that won't call you out on your stupidity and on your dumb things that you're doing. And then for some reason, you feel attacked when one of your friends does call you out, but they're doing you a favor. They actually care. So I don't know why people get so upset when you get called out. You should just kind of pause for a second and say, maybe I was a jerk. Maybe I did say something wrong. Maybe I did slip. Maybe I should apologize. So your friends have a huge, huge part of where you will be and what you will become, regardless of what age you are. Maybe you're older. Maybe you're like me and you're in your 30s. Your friends still matter. Like I don't have a big circle of friends. Like your social Instagram, Facebook, all those followers or whatever. That means nothing. The people that are following you are not your inner circle. My inner circle is super tight. I don't spend time with a bunch of people that waste my time. If I'm spending time with someone, they are in my inner circle. They are. I'm talking into their life, or they're speaking into my life, and we're helping each other grow. We're helping each other become these screws that are just more powerful as each day goes by. We are not wasting time in this worthless state of mind where you just are a waste of life and time in your life. I don't have time for that. So your friends, also church. Okay, maybe you are watching this and you are a person of faith. Maybe you attend a church. Your church and your circle of people who you surround with at church can be a toxic place for you. You might be watching this and you might be like nodding your head like, yep. Like, get out. Get out of a toxic place and go somewhere where you will be growing. If you are not growing and helping the church grow in your local community, there's something wrong with you. Like, you need to step out and go do something with your life. Like, go serve another church. Go serve your church. Maybe you're just sitting there and you're coming on Sundays, but you're not doing anything. Like, ask to help. There is so much help that's needed in every area, in every church. Like, it's ridiculous. There's not enough people doing things. You attending Sunday service doesn't help the church grow. What helps the church grow is when you're actually doing something for the church, regardless if that's cleaning up or helping a ministry or even being part of a ministry. Like, don't just be that person who just comes to church on Sunday and leaves and you feel good because you sang a couple songs, worship God, and you got some word and you're out. Like, that's these kind of people. Like, you want to be a person who's impactful, a person who does good things for the church that help others grow. Okay. So friends, church, let's talk about media for a minute because social media is flawed. You got these people who have like thousands and thousands of followers that are bots, but it makes them feel good because there's followers on their page. Like, who cares what that number is? Who cares if you have 100 followers or a couple thousand followers or a couple 100,000 followers? That number doesn't matter if you're not actually having some kind of impact on their life or they in your life. A lot of people follow this whole Instagram fad and like, oh, it's all about the likes and the views. And it's like, who cares? Who cares how many views you get? Like, my last episode got like maybe 90 views. So what? I hope that those people watching it learned something and helped them grow. It's not about the numbers. You don't do this because you don't share or do good, or you don't become this impactful person because you want a title. Well, some do, and that's a problem. But you do that because you are called. That's your purpose. You're designed to be a social being that helps others become closer to God. Like, that's it in a nutshell. That's what it is. So like, if you're focused on Instagram or YouTube and all you're doing is looking at other people's lives and complaining on how they're so perfect, yet you don't want to get up and do something in your life, like, there's a problem, right? So the circle of influence, who are you watching? What are you watching? Who are you spending time with? And where are you going on your free time? So that's both social and media. A little bit on media is also what you watch, like the news, the movies, the entertainment. Like, it matters what you fill your mind with, because that filth or that the information that you take does impact what you think about and how you act. Have you ever watched someone change all of a sudden? Like, they become, they talk like this actor, or they they start to say jokes like the actor that they're trying to be like. Like, it's ridiculous. Stop being someone else. Just be yourself, and people will hate you for it. People will love you for it. Just be yourself. Don't try to become like someone else. That's what, Instagram. I didn't grow up on Instagram. Instagram became a thing when I was already in college. And so I feel like this next generation is kind of set up for failure if they're not corrected. They have all these, not just Instagram. I mean, you got Snapchat, you've got TikTok, all these other apps that just keep coming up, and they're going to keep releasing them, that just distract a person on hours of their time, and they're just lost. They just have no purpose. They have no, no vision, no goals in life. And you know people like this. Like, your job is to help them out of that, okay? If you are in a better place in life, like, help them out. Now, the other part is, you might think that you got this. You might think that, maybe you're becoming better. Maybe you have fallen, and you like, you know what? But it's fine. I got this. I'll do better next time. I'll do better next time. I won't screw up next time. Yes, you will. You're human. You will keep messing up. So if you're in this understanding of I got this, which is very egoistic, it's all about you, you're gonna fail. You're gonna keep falling because you've already decided that the only factor to your success is you. And you're gonna fail because you're human. Again, like, we're sinful beings with corrupt minds and wrong intentions, and we have to check ourselves daily. Because if you don't, you will end up in a whole different area in your life. Because we're only made righteous through Jesus and not your own deeds. You can't earn salvation. You cannot earn your position in heaven. Like, Jesus already died for you. He already died for me. He already paid the price. You don't earn salvation with your deeds. You are already made righteous through him. What you need to do is accept his gift. And what you need to do is understand that you are reliant on his mercy and his grace and his love. And you need to do that daily. You messed up, like, own up to it. Own up to it. Ask for forgiveness. This includes not only from Jesus, but also from those around you. Like, you messed up, just ask forgiveness. Like, it's not embarrassing. Like, just be a man. Or, if you're a girl watching this, like, just be a strong woman and ask for an apology. It doesn't make you any weaker to ask and admit to being wrong. It actually makes you stronger. So your heart condition is, will depict on what kind of person you become. Your heart and your mind, and what you put into what you watch, what you put into your mind and into your heart, and what you start believing. So Matthew 15:19 has this incredible verse. The verse reads, "For out of your heart, or out of the heart, come evil thoughts, murder, adultery, sexual immorality, theft, false witness, slander," and the list goes on. Out of your heart, the evil thoughts come: murder, adultery, sexual immorality, which is, just ridiculous amount of sexual immorality that's going on right now in this world. Theft, false witness, slander. Like, all these evil things come from your heart condition. Like, you need to make sure that your heart is in the right place. Because I think we all have evil thoughts that sometimes we catch and sometimes we don't catch. But if you continue to just think that you're fine and you start comparing yourself to that who is worse than you, like, yeah, I might have done something bad, but that guy over there, well, he's much worse. So I'm actually doing well. You can't compare yourself to others. Okay. You got to compare yourself to the perfect image of Jesus and go from there. Proverbs. I love Proverbs. Like, this verse right here, Proverbs 4:23, is in my rifle chamber, my flag chamber. I'll show it sometime, but Proverbs 4:23 reads, "Keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flow the springs of life." Keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flows the spring of life. Man, you can be that spring of life to yourself, to those around you, to your family, to your friends, to the outer circle of people you talk to, at your workplace, to your coworkers, in your business, outside of your business. Like, it's what you decide to do. It's your choice. The choice is yours. Out of your heart come the flows, the spring of life. And you have to keep your heart pure. That includes your thoughts. That includes what you watch. That includes what your goals are in life. Because there's a lot of people that have goals in life, but those goals are flawed. They're all about themselves. They'll put everybody else down just to get success. You don't want to be around those people. Nobody wants to be around those people. Those people die alone. They might be rich one day, but they'll die alone. And even more sadly, they'll die not knowing Christ. That's sad. But perhaps you're in this state, okay, right now. Maybe you are feeling useless. Maybe you are feeling worthless. Maybe you've screwed up. Maybe you've screwed up big. Sometimes you'll have a scar in your life from your choices. That's life. You pay the consequences of your choices. But it doesn't mean that you're done. It doesn't mean that it's over. It doesn't mean that God can't reuse you. Look at everybody in the past. Like, you're looking at people from the Bible, like Paul. He who killed Christians then becomes a martyr himself for the right things, for the faith, for Jesus, right? There's countless examples. We can go on and on. The Bible is amazing. If you haven't read the Bible yet, I strongly encourage you to do that. That's going to change your life. You can't self-help yourself to true joy and freedom. Like, that true joy in life and that true purpose in life and that true freedom comes from knowing the Word and knowing Jesus and having Him in your heart. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, it's not just your mindset. Like, there's this popular thing going around that's like, oh, it's all about your mindset. Like, if you just change your mindset, you got this. Like, no, you don't got this, because your mindset is flawed. It already says so. You're a flawed person who is immoral, thinks wicked things, have immoralities, and much, much more. And you can't get rid of that yourself. Only through Jesus, guys. So look at yourself. You've been created by God in His image. So don't sit there and say you don't have a purpose in life. God created you for a purpose. God wants you to be this impactful human being in other people's lives. So if you are this, change yourself to this. It's not rocket science. You just got to own up to it and say, you know what? I messed up. I need to change my life. I need to accept Jesus into my life, and I need to be transformed, ask for forgiveness, and move on to being a new person within Him. And if you've done that, perhaps, it doesn't happen overnight. Like, you don't just become a perfect person. No one's perfect, but you can't just be perfectly changed within a night because you made a decision, right? So it takes time to build yourself up and become impactful in every area of your life. So there's this amazing tool, right? There's an amazing tool that rethreads holes in walls. Like, if you've ever done construction work or any kind of project, about these things. Well, the beautiful thing is there's a way out, and there's methods to make you better, right? And to correct mistakes. Now, a screw like this that doesn't have a thread cannot be used. You cannot fix this. You can't rethread. I mean, this doesn't even you can't even use this as a nail, right? But this is not who you are. Even if you've made mistakes, you are not that. Maybe you have some rough edges, and maybe you've got some corrections you need to make sure, like on screws, like a lot of times the tip right there is like all messed up because you drilled it too hard. Well, you can correct that. And what I want to say is, at no point in your life have you screwed up that much where you become this. There is no sin in your life that Jesus cannot forgive unless you blaspheme the Holy Spirit. That's what the Bible says. Where you cannot become this amazing tool that God uses in other people's lives. Hope that image will stay with you for the rest of your life if you watch this. Share it with someone that needs some inspiration. Share it with someone who feels like they're down and they're impossible to fix, because there is nothing impossible to fix through Jesus. And you are not too far gone to make the decision to transform your life with Jesus and not stay a screw up. Until next time, guys.